you come up with a good design idea? And how do you develop that design idea even further? Like, what are the steps? So you have an idea. Now what? I hate to break it to you, but ideas are a dime a dozen. It's really what you do with them next that makes them pop or flop. So let's take a look at how to go from idea to great idea. Hi, I'm Ali, a designer and maker, and I teach quilters and designers like you how to design and write quilt patterns so you can confidently share your creativity and grow a creative business that you love. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and any links to things that I mentioned in this video you can find down in the description below. When it comes to designing quilt patterns, it's pretty easy to come up with an idea. In fact, anyone can come up with an idea, right? They're a dime a dozen. So how do you come up with a really unique idea? Something that will stop the scroll and get them to see your design and maybe even buy your quilt pattern? Well, in this video, I'll be covering one of the key steps in the design process that will get you to come up with unique designs every time. And stick around to the end where I'll let you in on a bonus tip that will help you push through and create your best and most unique design yet. While you're watching, drop a comment down below to let me know where you find inspiration for your ideas. It's always fascinating to see where people get their ideas from. And who knows, maybe you'll spark someone else's creativity or even see something that turns a light on for you. Coming up with a unique design starts really with the first step in the inspiration that you gather. And if you want a little bit more on this stage, check out the video I made on inspiration, and I'll put a link for that down below as well. It's really what you do with that idea next that's the key to producing a really unique design for a quilt or a quilt pattern. And that key is to iterate. Now, what do I mean by iterate? Well, don't worry, it's not some difficult maths equation or anything like that. It simply means to say or do something again and again and again. While this may sound boring and repetitive at first, by the end of this video, you'll see just how powerful this technique can be in unlocking great design ideas. So how do we go about iterating a design? Well, it's as simple as repeatedly redrawing or revisiting an idea and tweaking it a little bit each time. Again, stick around to hear the bonus tip which takes this apparently repetitive task to the next level. Here's how I do this. I take an idea I had or a sketch I made when I was gathering inspiration. Then I draw a grid of squares or rectangles, just small ones. You don't really need to draw at a huge scale for this. Then I draw what I want to iterate in the first square, and I repeat it in each square, changing something slightly each time that I do it. So I might change the color or inverse the value, or draw an outline as opposed to the fill, or subtly shift a shape or add a texture. And using all of these different design elements, I can really tweak my design over and over without having to come up with a whole new design from scratch each time. I might focus on the one thing that I like about the design and carry that forward, or remove something that I don't like and leave it out of the next iteration. This lets you get really clear on what you like and what you don't like about your idea. And it lets you test out a whole series of things really quickly before you get to cutting fabric or wasting a whole lot of art supplies on something that you end up hating. The other added bonus of iterating your idea is that you make sure you're not too close to someone else's idea. Say that during the inspiration gathering process, you saw someone's quilt or a photo that you really loved, but now you're a bit nervous about reproducing that idea a little bit too closely. Well, this iterative process is one of the best ways to ensure that you aren't directly copying or plagiarizing someone else's idea, and that the idea really is unique to you. So something else that comes out of this process is like 100 new ideas. Like, not only what you're tweaking this idea over and over to get the best version of it, you might also come up with new ideas while you're focused on this work. Something might pop out for you that you didn't notice before, or something might spark a new idea. And at this point, you can either run with that new idea or you can jot it down to return to it at a later time and continue with your current iteration series. I can keep going with these little thumbnails for ages. It's really quite addictive and quite meditative once you get into the flow. If you do find yourself slowing down, just simply start a new iteration series, sketch something different, take a new idea and iterate that. And I guarantee that you'll come up with a design that is 100% unique to you. So before we get to the bonus tip on how to generate a whole series of ideas from just one, let's recap why you should iterate your design. It's a way to come up with your own unique idea. It lets you get really clear on what you want your design to be about. It ensures you won't be copying someone else's idea directly. It helps you quickly generate more ideas stemming from your one original inspiration source. And it's a really quick and easy way to decide if an idea is worth developing further before you spend any more money or invest any more time in something that might not work out. So now you understand why iteration is such a great way to approach your quilt design. But if the idea of sitting down and creating so many small drawings is a little overwhelming for you, or you think you might even get bored, trust me, you won't. Here's my bonus tip on how to keep going. Start a 100-day project. That's right. Set your start date in your calendar, calculate 100 days from that date and set the end date in your calendar. And plan a little surprise celebration for yourself. An ice cream, buying a fat quarter of your favorite fabric, something simple. And then each day, work on one iteration of your design. This is a great way to motivate yourself to keep working on a design, and bonus, you'll have a huge bank of design ideas that you'll build up in the meantime, like 100 of them. Again, if you get stuck, just change tack, that's fine. You could do the one design for the whole 100 days, or you could work on 10 different designs with 10 different iterations and change it up every 10 days or so. Just think of the possibilities. This is a super great way to come up with a cohesive group of ideas for quilt block patterns that could turn into your next block of the month or sample quilt. So that's it for this step in the series on how to design a quilt. If you want to get the full picture of the design process I use to design quilts, grab a copy of my design guide down in the description below. It's called Design Your Own Quilt in 5 Steps. And it takes you through really from idea all the way to final quilt design. If you enjoyed this video, check out the other videos in this series on how to design a quilt. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to be notified when I create more videos on design and quilting. I'll see you next time. And in the meantime, don't forget, design is for every day.